Alright, so this is going to be our tutorial for Gliffy.com. That is Gliffy.com, so feel free to add that into your address bar. And Gliffy.com is basically an online application that will help us to create our network diagram. So we're going to do a free trial. It is for 14 days. Just use your school address, your school email address, that'll be fine. You can enter whatever password you want, and we can then use Gliffy.com. It is free. It is a free trial. I have used this before, and if you do expire through the free trial, you can still use it. It just kind of gives you some annoying pop-up ads. Once we've logged in, there's a number of different diagrams that we can draw. We're going to use this for a network diagram, and we use this because it's just nice and easy to use. So this grid space here, that is our workspace where it looks like a graph paper. And then on this side, we also have our network diagram icons. And this is the main reason why we use Gliffy, just because it's nice and easy to find the icons and find our way through what we're trying to achieve here. There's other shapes, other things that you can use for your different diagrams. But you can also, one of the things that I like about it is you can search for different things. So if I wrote here a router, I get different icons for a router, and that allows me to draw a network diagram nice and easy. So for this tutorial, I'm just going to do my home network, and I'm going to start by doing a title here. So Angry Pandas Home Network, and I'll draw a diagram of my home network. Now what we're trying to achieve when we draw a network diagram is we're trying to make sure that the topology, the design shape, so either a ring, bus, or star of the network, is kind of demonstrated in the way that we draw our diagram. So I'm going to start here with my central node, which is my modem router. And I'm going to place that right here. And if I double click it, I get to add some text, or I can click on A to add some text, but I'm just going to double click it, and I'm going to call this icon my modem router, and that is my central node. So everything's going to stem out of this, and we're going to kind of build a star network for my home network, which is good. So there's my my central node. So I'm going to start connecting devices to this, and I'll show you my home network and how I've got things connected. So I've got another router just here as a proxy router. So I'm going to write there proxy, and that's just so that I can hide certain things in my network. They're actually connected. So I'm just going to line them up a little bit, and then I'm going to use this connector to show the connection between them, and that is a cable connection. So anything that in my network that is connected through an Ethernet cable or through a Cat5 or a LAN cable, I want it to be demonstrated that in the diagram by having connections. I've got a smart TV, and I'm not going to connect this because this is connected through Wi-Fi, and I'll do that towards the end, where I'm going to show you how to connect, or how to demonstrate how your Wi-Fi things are connected. I've also got an Apple TV, and I'm just going to see if they've got a box that kind of looks like the Apple TV. I don't think they do. I'm just having a look at the different options that I have. I don't think they do, so we might just have to settle. What if I write something in here? Oh, that's pretty good. So they don't actually have the a smart box like an Apple TV. So I'm just using this icon, which is actually a modem, as my Apple TV. And this guy is connected through cable. So I'm just going to make that connection there. And that's the main important thing, is just to make sure that you can show and demonstrate how devices are connected to your network. And like I said, that they take the shape of the topology that you're kind of using. Alrighty, so I've also got a PS4, and I've written here console. I know that this icon doesn't look like a PS4. It kind of looks like a Nintendo Wii controller and kind of like an Xbox console, but it is their gaming icon. I'm just going to write there PS4, and we've got, oh no, we don't have that machine anymore. I've got a MacBook Pro now. We used to have an iMac, but we've changed to a MacBook Pro. Then I've got my work laptop as well, so I'm going to have to add that in. my work laptop. And then my wife also has a laptop that she uses at home. Alright, so the MacBook Pro is connected via cable to our main modem router, and that's just so that it can hoggle the internet, because we are trying to I use that for different bits and pieces for different work that I do. So I try to make sure that I get the most uninterrupted internet that I can. Let's see, what else do we have here in our home network? We've got a printer that we share wherever we share resources. And this printer used to connect to the Wi-Fi. Now we've just got it hardwired straight in, because we're trying to maximize the amount of devices that we've got onto the hard drive. Just gonna bring it in a little bit, trying to get the diagram to look nice and neat, line things up. Alright, so we're almost there. What are we going to get around here? We've got 2 iPhones that we use over the Wi-Fi. So I'll just put these iPhones in. I won't put the number. Sorry guys, you won't get my wife's number or my number. I'll just write iPhone. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show how we're connected to the internet. Now I know it's through a modem router. We've got a media server. And this media server we've got movies and music and stuff that we share over the network. It's just a bit easier for us to do that. It's not a very popular thing these days now that everything's on streaming, but we took a long time to download all of our DVDs onto the media server, so I'll make sure I include it. As I was saying, I wanted to show my connection to the internet, but I want to demonstrate how that works through a firewall. So I'm going to use this kind of cloud icon as the internet. I'm just going to move things around here. What's that? It's a weird thing to have. Let's put that there. Just trying to think how I can move things around. Trying to get the neatness of this diagram working for us. So we've got the internet and we've got a firewall. Now I use my proxy router as a physical firewall, but we also have a software firewall that we can program and keep our network safe. So I'm just going to write here SW firewall for software firewall. And I just want to demonstrate the connectivity. I think it's important to show how things are connected to the internet on a network as well. We don't assume that all networks are connected to the internet. It could be an intranet, it could be a private network. Not all networks have internet access. So if you do have internet access, it's important that you demonstrate that. So we've got a proxy server, but also our router goes through a firewall. And that firewall is then what hooks us up to the internet. So there is that security protection element to our network, and it is demonstrated in our diagram. All right, so the last thing I'm going to do here is do the Wi-Fi connectivity. So there's a Wi-Fi symbol here, which we're all familiar of. And I'm just going to put this symbol next to all of the devices that are connected via Wi-Fi. And again, it's important that we demonstrate how devices are connected in our network diagram. So there's no point in just putting all the devices in, having all these pretty icons if we're not demonstrating the connectivity. So I'm just going to give every single Wi-Fi device this symbol. And then I'm going to place a symbol on the router that we use as the Wi-Fi router. Do it next to the antenna there so you can see where it's coming from. and that demonstrates the connectivity. So now you can see our network diagram has a star-like topology. There's different branches stemming out from I'm just gonna, the TV is connected to the Apple TV, so just going to finish that off. So there's different branches coming out of our central nodes. Then on top of that, we have a firewall that protects us from the internet and outside devices. And we have Wi-Fi devices connected to our Wi-Fi router, which is our proxy router that also acts as a physical firewall. And remember that I think that is the most important device in a network. So as you can see there, it's a very simple design, a very simple shape. We can see the shape of it all. I'm going to see if I can move that across. I think it's right on the edge of the paper. That's okay. But this is basically a network diagram. And what I would like you to do now is to start creating your own network diagrams. Make sure, as I said, that you follow the topology, the shape, ring, bus, star that your network is at home. Demonstrate how devices are connected, either through cable connections, so put those lines in, or through Wi-Fi connectivity, and demonstrate to us, show us how you're connected to the internet. Do you use a firewall? Do you use a proxy router? How are things connected? And that's simply it. I will say that you don't have to use Gliffy. As you can see, it's just a bunch of icons and lines and text. You could do this in Excel, PowerPoint, or you could also do this on draw.io, which we've been using as well for diagrams. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what program you use, as long as the diagram demonstrates the connectivity, the topology, and the type of network, and the devices that you've got connected. So aside from that, happy drawing, and hopefully you guys can draw your own home networks. Later in class, you will be designing networks at a larger scale, and you will need to know how to do those designs. Thank you very much.